Hello everyone, my name is Financial Charles. Today is October 15th of 2023, and today the Bitcoin price is approximately $27,000, and it's looking to be, pretty bearish sentiment as of recently. I have seen a lot of, YouTube videos in the space, and it seems like a lot of people are very bearish, more bearish than bullish, actually. On Reddit, I think it's a different story. I think everyone there is super bullish. So I think in terms of where you'll find the bears, where you'll find the bulls, it just depends on, where you're looking. I just wanted to briefly discuss Ben's latest video talking about the advanced decline index. And basically what he was summarizing in this video was the fact that liquidity overall is leaving the cryptocurrency space as of recently. And although that there are some new buyers and some people still buying, there are probably more people even leaving. So what that is, people are getting tired or uncertain about the crypto space. So in terms of, net liquidity, the net liquidity is going down as of recently. And that's why, if we look at any altcoin, really, they are all just bleeding. They're all going down and down and down, and they're breaking their new lows. I know Matic technically has not broken its low, but it's really getting down there. It's already at the levels of this, a line of support, this line of support over here also. And Cardano is a very good example of this too. I know that Cardano technically it's not as low as this wick, but it's about to find its way down to testing these lows again. So the reason that there's liquidity leaving the alts is just because during times of uncertainty, people will tend to flock to the safest asset within the asset class. So the safest asset in the crypto asset class is Bitcoin. A lot of people, a lot of traditional finance people, they will even claim that Bitcoin is not safe at all. It's like the riskiest thing that you can possibly do when you compare that to, asset classes like index funds and stocks. But I think, the deeper you look into Bitcoin, you realize that it is actually the safest asset out of them all. And that's because all these other assets, such as the S&P 500, they're priced in dollar terms. And a dollar is an ever inflating asset. It is forever declining in value. So when you look at things like the S&P 500, everyone always preaches about S&P 500, and 9 out of 10 hedge fund managers cannot outperform the S&P over the long periods of time, because over time it returns 7% a year. But if you were to look at what's called the US M2 money supply, this is the amount of dollars that exists in the world. And as you can see, as time goes on, the amount of dollars increase. And this cannot happen with Bitcoin. If you were to graph Bitcoin's supply over time, technically it's like this, because new Bitcoins are being mined every 10 minutes and new Bitcoins are being put out into circulation every 10 minutes. But every 4 years, the block reward, the mining reward, gets cut in half. So every 4 years, the amount of Bitcoin that gets put out into circulation gets cut in half each year. So, every 4 years, that's what I meant. So every 4 years, you will see that the added supply of Bitcoin into the system becomes less and less and less. And obviously after the year 2140, when the last Bitcoin is mined, it's just going to be flat like this. Right now, there's approximately 19 million Bitcoins in circulation, and that means the next 2 million will be mined over the next 120 years. And if you were to I did show you guys this S&P 500 over time, 7% a year, but if you were to look at the price of the S&P 500 in terms of the amount of dollars in circulation, what you will see is a chart that looks like this. So this is the S&P 500 going all the way back to 1960 when you take into consideration the value of each dollar. So our dollars are worth less than they were yesterday, and they're worth less than they were the day before that. And they want to tell us that inflation, like CPI inflation, is 3%, 2% a year. But in real terms, in terms of all other assets out there, and all other metrics that are not included in CPI, the real inflation of the US dollar is more 7 to 8%. So really it's like the inflation is almost outpacing the growth, the S&P 500 value. Sorry, I'm a bit under the weather, so I'm focusing on multiple things at once, and I'm sniffling and losing my train of thought and all that stuff. But when you take into consideration the value of the currency in which this is being measured, the S&P 500 doesn't really go anywhere at all. Really, you could see that not throughout its existence, but ever since 1960, it's just been going sideways in this channel the whole entire time. Sure, you got some lows down here, and sure, you got a high up here, which represents the dot-com bubble right here. Besides those 2 points in time, the S&P 500 is just within this range. It goes within this range, and the value that we're at right now is about the same valuation that it was back here in 1959. So what that really shows is the S&P 500 growing 7% a year because it's producing 7% more value in terms of the real world, or is it because the money supply increased 7% a year? And the more dollars that are in circulation, all these dollars will eventually find its way into assets. So if the Federal Reserve keeps on printing money, this money is just eventually going to flow right into assets such as the S&P 500, or such as real estate, and such as Bitcoin. And it's because of that Bitcoin is going to outpace every other asset in the world. It's a finite asset. It's fixed. Even gold is not finite/fixed. It's rare. It's scarce, but it's fixed. A lot of people say that real estate's even not fixed, but I mean, there's limited world. The Earth is limited. Earth is not unlimited. So technically it is fixed. But what they mean is you can build layers on layers on layers. You can build 2 stories, 4 stories, and they even try to argue, land in space, such as the moon or Mars, that would, in theory, if we could live in that environment, then yeah, there'd be more land available, but that's besides the point. Everything over time will bleed against Bitcoin. All the asset classes will bleed against Bitcoin. And yeah, I mean, not too much to say today, I guess, but that's what I wanted to talk about. Just a quick little video, because I know I haven't posted a video in like a week, so I decided to, just whip one up real quick while I'm on my lunch break. And yeah, that's everything I had to say for today. I will continue to make more Bitcoin videos in the future, and just keep dollar cost averaging. I think $27,000 is it's a great buying opportunity. Also considering the fact that, we were all gung-ho buying it at 60,000, 50,000, and when it, during this initial drop from April to June, when it went all the way down to $29,000, which is higher than where we're at right now, we were all scared. Yeah, we didn't know what was going on. In reality, this was a really good time to buy, because then you would have doubled your money riding this wave up. And right now, this is $27,000. It's a better time to buy than $29,000. Just keep buying, but, as I said earlier in the video, liquidity keeps on leaving the crypto space, which is why prices are not rising. And if it continues to do that due to the uncertainty of the macroeconomy, then, prices will continue to go down. But this is our ultimate opportunity. It doesn't matter how cheap Bitcoin gets. There's only $21 million, or not $21 million. There's only 21 million Bitcoins out there. So, eventually in the future, when demand for Bitcoin goes up, but supply stays the same, prices inevitably increase, and we see that after each and every halving. So, according to the data, according to history, it's only a matter of time until we hit April, which is the halving, which is going to be right here, and then it's just going to take off. It's going to go vertical again. So these are the last couple months that we have to just dump every single dollar that we have into Bitcoin. This is the risk that we're willing to take. But yeah, this is the opportunity. These next 8 months are probably going to be the best time ever to buy Bitcoin for a very, very long time. So, it doesn't matter, if people are leaving the crypto space, just if they're leaving the space, buy their bags so that way you can sell it back to them later at a higher price. All right, everyone, thank you so much, and I will see you in another video.